Hi guys, Kathy Richards, RD hopping on. So I wanted to hop on today and I wanted to talk to you about a few things and a few cases that I've had this week where intuitive eating doesn't work. So if you've been following me on my podcast and in here, there's an intuitive eating series. I'm sharing the 10 principles to nourishing a healthy relationship with food. So this video isn't part of the intuitive eating series, but it's talking about realistic expectations. So I want to give you a few examples. So I had a client this week that was seeing a specialist and was advised to lose weight as part of the plan to help improve some of their liver function and things. So what they did was they restricted a meal a day for a while after they initially saw the doctor, and they lost 7 pounds. And then they decided they didn't really want to skip meals, so then they started to eat normally again, and they gained back 2 pounds. And then they kept yo-yoing and eventually gained back to 7 pounds. So what we know through the research, and if you've been following some of the things I've been talking about, Health at Every Size is a great resource, great book that everyone should read. And it talks about this yo-yo effect and how it actually metabolically is worse if we're gaining and losing and gaining and losing. And when I work with clients that are in the liver program, so they've been identified as having fatty liver, and sometimes it's caused by gaining weight. Sometimes it's genetic. There's different reasons. But one of the key recommendations from the doctors or other health professionals is weight loss. But when we look at the research, just doing 30 minutes of physical activity every day can produce a 10% reduction in the fat that sits on the liver. So that's a great demonstration that weight loss doesn't have to be the key. So interestingly enough, what we talked about with this person was, I'm just trying to remember back because I have my notes closed, but she was already tracking her sleep, what time she went to bed. Her sleep was really not great. Was taking some sleep supplements, we'll call them, to help her sleep. And was already tracking like when she went to bed, when she woke up, and how much sleep she got, and if she took her stuff. So then where we ended up with her today was just, let's get curious. Let's see how eating throughout the day, alcohol intake throughout the day, specifically in the evening, exercise throughout the day, stress level gets rated as well. Like at the end of the day, don't make yourself wrong if you skip this, is what I left her with. But let's get curious and let's start to see, okay, can we change what you're eating at supper? Could we add a snack at night? Does that help with nighttime waking? Because nighttime waking was a big thing. And we know hormonally, if we're waking up in the night or if we're not getting enough sleep, that's like extra stress on the body that can lead to weight gain. Even without a caloric difference, it can lead to weight gain. So that was one thing that we came to, was she's already tracking. So let's just get curious and start to track some of these different things. Maybe throw a night snack in, combining protein with carbohydrates, and see if the energy is better maintained, that sleep is stretched out longer. Maybe try a day where you don't have alcohol. Check that day and see, is that sleep changing overnight? Because the blood sugar drops overnight normally, and alcohol can cause that to be even more pronounced. So in the end, I'm not talking to her about weight loss. I'm not talking about intuitive eating because that's not a place where she's at, but we're just getting curious and we're just starting to track more things, not to make it hard, but because I'm convinced that we can tweak little things and we'll see a good outcome. So that's one example where intuitive eating doesn't work, doesn't need to be what we focus on, and I'm not going to go there because that's not the ideal client to do intuitive eating. Another example is a male client that I had this week, lives alone. Again, alcohol consumption happens fairly regularly. Nighttime waking happens too. So again, the alcohol, sometimes it gives us like this false belief, basically, that is going to help us sleep longer. But in actuality, there's a lot of nighttime waking when there's a higher alcohol consumption. And again, it's that blood sugar response. This individual is also eating food that has a high glycemic response. So food that doesn't have much fiber or it doesn't have the right balance of protein, fat, and carbohydrate. So their blood sugar is going to do something like this, like a roller coaster. It's going to go up quick and then it's going to fall quick. Okay, and that's going to set them up to not feel great, feel tired. They are exhausted at the end of their workday. And also they have early nighttime waking. So with them, again, I'm not going to take away the alcohol because that's not realistic. And I'm not going to take away all of the high glycemic carbohydrates because that's what they like. But we're going to try to adjust things a bit. We're going to try to add a bit of fiber into the cereal, maybe adjust the portions a bit and see if we can get their blood sugar feeling better and get their energy on point. And if we can get more sleep, that's going to be key. So sleeping 4 hours a night, your body is not going to work with you. Sleeping 4 hours a night, there's no way that your hunger and satiety hormones are going to be able to communicate with you because you're tired. So that's something. If sleep isn't on point, I'm not going to go into intuitive eating with people at that point because they're not able to recognize those signals of hunger and fullness because their body's under that high stress response from getting not enough sleep. So that are my takeaways and realistic expectations for these clients. We're just going to start super small. That's realistic. And we're going to work from there. And they're probably not candidates to look at intuitive eating, but they're quite curious to see what happens when we start to adjust things. So I will come back and give you guys an update for both of those clients. I'm going to follow up in 4 to 5 weeks because I don't want to lose them. I want them to get a little bit of traction in what they're doing, and then we'll touch base and see how it goes. So if you're looking for the intuitive eating series, it's actually there's a link for it, or there's a category for it. So keep your eyes open, and I will be posting a couple of resources there later today, and the podcast will come out later today or maybe tomorrow. My eye looks really strange. I'm not sure what's going on with my eye. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye.